There's been plenty of hype around this thing. Here it is, of course, the Ford Ranger Raptor. Now there's lots to talk about with it, so let's get into it. Here are the 5 things we reckon you need to know about the Ranger Raptor. Number 1, when Ford announced that the Ranger Raptor was going to become a thing, the internet almost melted with talk of what was going to be here under the bonnet. You know, would Ford use the Focus RS engine? Would it take a Raptor engine from the US? Almost no one was expecting this, a 2-litre, 4-cylinder bi-turbo diesel engine. To say the internet was disappointed would be an understatement. Now, I really wanted to give this engine the benefit of the doubt, but unfortunately it is a little disappointing. From a standing start, this thing is really slow, and it's only once you start building speed from say 40, 50, 60, 70 k's an hour that it starts to build momentum with any sort of urgency. Make no mistake, this thing isn't in the same league as either the Amarok Ultimate 580 or the new X-Class X350D. And unfortunately, the 10-speed automatic transmission doesn't do much to help things either. Left to its own devices, it slurs through the gears and just generally lacks the sort of precision you would expect a 10-speeder to have. Number 2, if the engine is a duffer, then the engineering absolutely isn't. Taking its cue from the F-150 Raptor, the Ranger Raptor is wider, taller and tougher than the vehicle it's based on. There are rated recovery points front and rear, and the Fox racing shocks, my goodness, they are unbelievable. They allow you to hit things at speeds that you couldn't imagine would be possible and still keep this thing shiny side up. There are also 17-inch wheels wrapped in chunky, near 33-inch BF Goodrich rubber. There's also a terrain management system which you access via the mode button on the steering wheel. Kind of wish it said performance or Raptor or something a little more interesting than mode. But anyway, what that does is it allows you to dial up different driving modes to suit different terrains. Number 3, just looking at this thing from the outside, you would expect the on-road ride to be a little bit compromised, but it absolutely isn't. The suspension tune on this thing is absolutely perfect for on-road and off-road. You can literally hit any pothole or speed hump you want without lifting off the throttle. However, the tyres, which are so good off-road, are a real handicap on-road. See, the chunky nature of them means that there's a lot of air between the tread blocks, so they're quite noisy, and also that there is a constant jiggle through the cabin. And they have literally no wet road grip at all. You are tiptoeing around corners and around roundabouts. Head off-road though, and my goodness, the tyres come into their own. They're tough, they're chunky, they're grippy, and there's plenty of sidewall there for when you need to drop the pressures. Those tyres, a long travel suspension, a wider track, more ground clearance, a clever terrain management system, and a lower crawl ratio than a standard Ranger make the Ranger Raptor properly capable off-road. It's more capable than a standard Ranger, and it's quite easily the most capable dual cab 4x4 you can buy in this country. Number 4, at almost 75 grand, the Ranger Raptor is more expensive than an Amarok Ultimate 580, but less expensive than a Merc X-Class X350D Power, and $11,000 more than a Ranger Wildtrak. And while there's plenty of value in that bespoke engineering beneath the skin, when you climb into the cabin, it can be really hard to see where that extra 11K is hiding. I mean, you get these Raptor embossed seats, you get some blue stitching, you get these magnesium paddle shifters, but I mean, they could be plastic, and an on-center marker here, which on our test car is on a jaunty angle, and obviously the bespoke terrain management system, but that's about it. Number 5, unlike the F-150 Raptor, the Ranger Raptor isn't all-wheel drive, and I think it should be. It gets the same drive setup as a regular Ranger. That means you're in 2-wheel drive when you're on the bitumen, you're 4 high when you're on dirt, and low range for the slow speed crawly stuff. So the Ranger Raptor isn't perfect, and it isn't cheap either, but the engineering work behind it and the level of capability that affords puts this thing off-road and on-road too above anything else in the segment. It's just a shame about that engine. It really isn't at the same level as the rest of the car. Now, if you want full details on the Ranger Raptor or to read our full review, make sure you head to practicalmotoring.com.au.